Ever wonder how massive software projects, the ones with teams all over the world, actually get built without turning into total chaos? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the two tools that make it all happen, Git and GitHub. Let's dive in and see how they work. So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off by looking at the big problem developers are always trying to solve. Then we'll get into the local solution, Git, which is basically your own personal coding time machine. After that, we'll see how you can experiment safely, work with a team in the cloud, and then, the best part, how you can start exploring a whole universe of code, like right now.
All right, so let's start with the fundamental challenge. You see, building software is a team sport. But when you have a bunch of people all working on the same files at the same time, things can get messy, and I mean fast.
This is the million-dollar question, right? Picture this. You're fixing a critical bug. At the same time, your teammate is adding a brand new feature to the exact same file. How in the world do you put those two changes together? Without a solid system, someone's hard work just gets erased. It's a nightmare. And that's precisely the problem Git was born to solve.
Okay, first things first, let's clear up a super common point of confusion, Git versus GitHub. Here's the simple breakdown. Git is the tool that lives on your computer. It's what tracks all your changes. GitHub is the service, the website up in the cloud where you store your projects so you can share and work with other people. Think of it like this. Git is the engine, and GitHub is the garage where you park it and the racetrack where you show it off. So let's zoom in on that engine first. Git itself. This is where all the magic really starts, right there on your own machine.
At its heart, Git is what's called a version control system. Now, that's just a fancy way of saying it's a system that takes snapshots of your files every single time you tell it to. It doesn't just save the file as it is right now, it remembers the entire history of every change ever made.
And this is the perfect way to think about it. If you've ever played a video game, you know how life-saving those save points are. You mess up, make a wrong turn, get defeated by a boss, no big deal. You just reload from your last save. Git gives you that exact superpower for your code. And using it locally is like a simple three-step dance. First, you modify your files. You do the actual work. Then, you stage those changes. This is like deciding which things you want to pack into a shipping box. You're getting them ready. Finally, you commit them. That seals the box, you slap a label on it describing what's inside, and boom, that's your permanent save point.
Okay, so saving our progress is awesome, but what if you want to try something a little risky? Like, what if you want to build a huge new feature, but you're terrified of breaking the version of the project that actually works? Well, that's where branches come in.
You see, every Git project has a default branch, and it's usually just called main. You need to think of this as the official, stable, it just works version of your code. This is the golden source of truth. You protect it at all costs.
Now, when you create a new branch, you're basically creating a parallel universe. It's a full copy of your entire project where you can go wild. You can experiment, add new stuff, break things, fix them, all without ever touching that stable main branch. It's your own personal sandbox. And this quote right here just nails it. The main branch is sacred territory. It only gets updated when you are 100% sure that the new code is tested, working, and totally ready for prime time. Branches are what make this kind of safety possible.
So why bother with all this? Well, it lets you isolate your work, so your crazy new feature doesn't crash the entire app for everyone else. You can fix bugs without panicking. And the best part? If you try out some new idea and it's a total failure, who cares? You just delete the branch. The main code never even knew it existed. It's this freedom to experiment without fear that really drives innovation. Okay, so up until now, everything we've talked about, the commits, the branches, it's all been happening locally, just on our own computers. Now it's time to take our code to the cloud and see how we can work with a team using GitHub.
So you did it. You went off onto your own branch and built this amazing new feature. It's tested, it's perfect, it's beautiful. Now what? How do you get that brilliant code from your parallel universe back into the main reality so the rest of the team can actually use it?
Well, the answer is something called a pull request, or what you'll hear everyone call a PR. Now, a pull request isn't a command, it's a conversation. It's you raising your hand and saying to the team, "Hey everyone, I think my work on this branch is done. Could you please take a look? If you like it, let's merge it into main."
And this whole process has a really clear life cycle. First, you push your local branch with all your commits up to GitHub so everyone can see it. Then, on the GitHub website, you open the pull request. That's what kicks off the review, where your teammates can look at your code line by line, leave comments, and suggest changes. Once everybody gives it a thumbs up, an admin can merge your code right into the main branch.
And that right there, that's the secret sauce for quality code. The pull request acts like a gatekeeper for the main branch. It forces a peer review that not only catches bugs before they happen, but also helps share knowledge across the entire team. It's how you make sure that golden source of truth stays golden.
Okay, we have covered a ton of ground, the core ideas behind Git and GitHub. So now, let's get to the really fun part, how you can use this knowledge to start exploring the gigantic world of open source software. Today,
I mean, we are talking millions of public projects hosted on GitHub. And a project is really just a folder with code in it. This is the code for literally anything you can imagine, from tiny little tools to the massive applications built by companies like Microsoft and Google. The entire open source world is built on this, and it's all there for you to look at.
And the key that unlocks this entire universe is one simple command: git clone. When you clone a project, you're making an exact copy of it from GitHub, including its entire history of commits and all its branches, and downloading it right onto your own computer.
And it's ridiculously easy to do. Seriously, you just find a project you think is cool on GitHub, you click that big green code button and copy the URL, then you open up your terminal, type git clone, paste in the URL, and hit enter. That's it! You now have a complete working copy of that project to study, play with, and learn from.
So let's do a super quick recap. Git is your local time machine for your code. GitHub is the cloud library where you share it all. Branches give you that safe sandbox to experiment. Pull requests are how teams keep their code high quality. And Git clone is your passport to this entire universe of code.
You now have the fundamental map to navigate the world of modern software development. The only question left is, what amazing project are you going to explore first?